Good evening, everybody from AKA, Australian Kinesiology Association. It's very exciting to have you with us in this month. So in November, we're doing one of our Illuminate series, and our Illuminate series is all about illuminating different deep aspects of wellness and really bringing our community into conversation about all those different aspects and how we might approach those within our own practices. I'm really delighted that you've come along, and I'd like to introduce everyone to Alice Bullivant, who's the current president of AKA, and Megan McIntyre, who's currently just about to join us on Soul Advisor, and Anastasia, who's been with us since the very beginning on Soul Advisor, and has been not only part of our practitioner community, but also one of our very valued workers over at Soul Advisor. So it's nice to be amongst community. Yes, so this month, as I said, we're going to be speaking about kindness. And that's because on the 13th of November, it's World Kindness Day, which has been going since 1998. It started in Japan, and it's had a long and proud history of really drawing people's attention to the importance of kindness on this planet. Whew. And now is a great moment to be talking about this. Yeah. So thank you both to all three of you for putting in the effort to be here tonight and for bringing your wisdom. So I'm going to just start off by asking Alice to step forward and share what you'd like to share about kindness. Alice, who's going to talk about the actual practice in kindness in practice. So I'm not sure if that's in our practice or in practice in general, but on you go.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much, Cate, for having us tonight. It's actually really cool that this is tonight because being the full moon, it's actually also a lunar eclipse as well, which brings a lot of transformational change, which is something I think the world needs at the moment. So, so what I'm going to do is actually just share my screen and... Oh, look, that works. Okay, just need to rearrange so I can see a little bit. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about kindness in practice, which is actually surprisingly easy as it happens. So the meaning of kindness, I often find when we talk about words that we don't necessarily know, we think we know what it means, and we sometimes kind of lose the meaning of things because it's a word that we use quite a lot. So I actually looked it up on Google, as we do for everything these days, and the meaning of kindness is actually the quality of being friendly and generous and considerate without expecting in return. And I actually think that's a really important thing to do with kindness, because there's a saying which I can't quite grasp right at the moment, but it's basically if you're doing something for someone and expecting something in return, you're doing business, not kindness. So, and that's why the without expecting something in return is actually particularly important, because that is what differentiates it, I guess, from being a business person or it being a transaction. So, who should we be kind to? Everybody, our friends and our family, just other people in general, and particularly ourselves. And often this is actually the part that we lose track of, is being kind to yourself. And that is actually just as important as anything else. So what does kindness to others look like? These things are really simple, guys, but it's something that we forget. So simple things are like using your manners. Please and thank you, we know those ones. But even just the case of, looking at people. How often do you see when you go to order a coffee or something at a shop and they'll go, oh yeah, cappuccino, thanks. That's not actually... you're using your manners in terms of the words, but it's actually about words and actions all together to give the congruency around kindness. So looking people in the face when you're using your manners, and actually, I guess, even meaning what you say. So the difference between, coffee, thanks, and can I have a cappuccino, please? You know, something like that. There's a real different intention behind the words. So, and it's not just the words, it is the intention, the action that goes with what you're saying that actually reflects the kindness. Simple things like smiling at a stranger as you're walking down the street. So this is simple. I actually remember once, I live in Sydney, and so I was in the country somewhere and I saw someone smiling at me, and I was just, you know, looking around to see who it was that was smiling at who was around me, and I realized they were actually smiling at me, and I went, oh, what are they smiling at me for? So because I'm not used to it. Yeah. So, and then because I, you know, realized they were smiling at me, I'm like, oh, they're smiling at me. That's nice. So smiling doesn't cost anything. The second thing is it actually uses a lot of facial muscles. That's going to be important later on when I show you something else. And the third thing too is smiling actually releases a little bit of one of our endorphins called oxytocin. So if you can just smile at someone, exercise your face, make them feel good, make you feel good, and release good hormones, why would you not do that? So helping a stranger. So there's lots of little ways that you can do that. You can, you know, I guess there's always, we see people who are experiencing homelessness, giving them some help there. We can even, you know, if you see someone who's dropped something, if you open a door, all of these, I guess, some of these customs that we have let by the wayside a little bit in recent times are ways that we can actually project kindness out into the world wherever we go. If I think about today for myself, holding the lift open for someone. So I don't know if you experience this a lot, but I do, where people dive into the lift and press the close button to make sure that you can't get in with them. So, you know, I find that annoying. I'm assuming that other people do as well. So, you know, these are ways that we can actually just do little small things that don't cost us anything except maybe a few seconds of time, and actually project our kindness out to others. Paying it forward. So this is, you can do all sorts of little things with this. You can pay for someone's coffee who's next in the line for you. I think I'm talking about coffee a lot. I must like coffee. You can hand something on to someone else. You can even, I don't know what you could do even. You could put a bit of money towards someone else's meal at a restaurant. You could give someone some of the shopping bags at the shops. There's all sorts of little things that you can do there in ways to pay it forward to strangers. Actually, there is, for me on Facebook, there's actually a group which is called Buy Nothing. I think it's getting a bit of traction around, but it's basically a group that you can join in, and then anything that you're wanting to, you know, move on, you can actually put it in that group and just, you know, pass it on as a gift. So this particular group, it's not just a buy, swap, sell page. It's actually about a gifting thing, so people can put up all maybe different reasons around why they like stuff, and you get to pick who gets the thing that way. So that's another little opportunity that potentially you can look through on social media. Letting someone in. I love this one. When I was studying, we were actually given an example of how people get angry in traffic. So, and they, you know, bunch up behind other people and won't let them in. And, you know, the whole example around that was, you know, why do you behave like that? And, you know, people would say things like, well, if I do that, then I'm going to be late for work. And okay, so what happens if you're late for work? Well, I'll probably get into trouble. What happens if you get into trouble? Well, if it keeps happening, then I'll probably get fired. And what if you get fired? Well, then I can't pay my bills and keep a roof over my head. So, and when you keep digging under that, really what that comes down to is actually about a fear. So, so then because we've got a bit of a fear around certain things, it actually stops us from letting people in traffic. But you can even do this in lines and in supermarkets and that sort of thing. You know, got a big trolley, other people got a few things, you could let them in, and you can do it the other way around too if you like. But you know, just those little small acts of kindness, how much better does it make you feel when someone does that for you? And then the last one is volunteering. So I know everyone here actually tonight has volunteered in some capacity for all sorts of associations and that sort of thing. I actually came across a study today which shows that volunteering is actually associated with reducing inflammation levels in your body. So that's actually a benefit to you then. Being kind to others by offering your time actually benefits you as well. So yeah, so these are ways that we can actually be kind to others. Kindness to family and friends. I actually had a client today that I was talking to about this because it's very easy for us to be unkind to those that we love the most. And I think that the reason for that is because we kind of know that they're probably going to stick around more so than just other people. So, and it makes it easy for us to be unkind to those that we love because, you know, we know they're probably more likely to forgive us than others. So it's important to acknowledge that so that we can actually correct this type of behaviour, I guess, in our own homes, and particularly show that love and affection that we have for our family in as many ways as possible. So again, using your manners. These things tend to slip with people that we know better. So, you know, there's no harm in a please or thank you with a friend or family member, particularly the ones that you live with. So, and that's where we, you know, we allow our raw selves to appear, I suppose, at home. So, and we let those sort of things go when we're feeling, you know, stressed, anxious, upset, angry. And yeah, then we let those little things slip. So a good 20-second hug. Now, most hugs last 3 seconds, maybe 5. And an actual 20-second hug, that actually allows your body to, again, release that lovely hormone called oxytocin, which makes you feel nice and warm and happy and loved. So next time you hug one of your family members, make it last 20 seconds. Sending real cards. I had one here before, actually, but anyway. We've got email, we've got text, we've got social media. How often do you actually get a real physical card? So, and how good does it feel when you actually get one? So think about that and send a real card. So it's such a lost art these days. And it's actually for kids. I know when I was a kid, I used to have a pen pal in WA, I think, and we used to send each other's letters all the time. Kids actually miss out on that these days because they have, you know, device everything. So that's something that you can actually, I guess, pay it forward to your kids and show them the art of letter writing and card writing, and even how to address an envelope. Picking up the phone. Again, we have email, we have text, we have, I don't know what that's for. Sorry, I'll just get rid of whatever that is. Yeah, we have email, we have text, we have social media, we have all sorts of ways to connect with each other. And with these little devices called phones, how often do we actually talk to people? So it's easy, and I'm as guilty of it, I think, as anybody. It's much easier to just flick off a text. So, but just picking up the phone and connecting to people is a really great way to pay that kindness forward to your friends. And all we wanted over the last couple of years is to connect more to people, and we're still kind of trying to avoid it a bit. So, thoughtful things. Often we, you know, I guess with gift giving and things like that, we easily fall into, you know, what's easy. We're busy. We all have busy lives. We have lots of stuff going on, and it's easy to fall into the trap of I guess, you know, what can we we do. It's going to take us the least amount of time. But, you know, if you know, for example, you've got a friend who likes crystals and you happen to see a little crystal, then you could always buy that for someone that you know that would like that. Just something, when you give a gift to someone, not saying that, you know, the way of kindness is to give people gifts, but if you are inclined to give a gift to someone, then make it a thoughtful one, because that actually shows in word and in deed, you know, that you've actually really considered what you're giving them. And then the last one I actually had here was about consideration itself. So that to me is actually about, you know, really, well, considering other people's feelings and thinking about them and looking at things through their eyes and their perspective. So we're very focused these days on only seeing things from our own point of view, where we don't actually look at the perspectives of all of the other people. So we don't consider other people's feelings and how our actions may impact other people. So yes, so the last of the triad of kindness, kindness to yourself. And this one, I think, is the one that people struggle with the most, to be honest. We're probably somewhat more aware, I think, of how our impact, as I was just talking about, how our actions impact others. But we also don't consider how our actions impact ourselves. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is taking time out. It's okay to stop. We've glorified busy. And I was actually talking to someone about this the other day. I remember back in the day when the shops used to shut at 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and now they're open, you know, late nights, most nights, and Saturdays and Sundays. And all we have managed to do, I think, is actually fill our time with busy. So taking time out, it's okay to do that, and yourself will thank you for that. Doing things we love. I am a Harry Potter nerd. I am a Lego nerd. And yes, I still, at 40, whatever I am now, I'm still building Lego because I love it. So it's okay to do the things that you love, because that's all that soul food stuff that actually, you know, releases the endorphins again. It makes you happy. So that's another way to show kindness to yourself. Firstly, just taking time out to just rest, but then taking time out to do the things that you love to do. The third one, self-talk. Watch how you talk to yourself. How often do you go, oh, stupid, or idiot, oh, I can't believe I did that? You know, all of those times, you know, that's a really negative energy towards yourself. So really watch how you talk to yourself, because how you talk to yourself opens up how other people will talk to you. Nourishing yourself. Now, that's on a mind, body, and soul level. So, you know, on a very physical level, that's obviously just about food and water and even exercise, I suppose. So, you know, making sure that you're nourishing yourself on those levels. But then on the mental level, I guess that's really kind of about these sorts of things here, you know, how you talk to yourself, how you actually make time for you. And then also on the soul level, you know, really nourishing yourself from that soul perspective, and I guess doing the work to, you know, move things on that no longer serve you, and to make peace with things, and all of those sorts of things. Now, showing up for you. Yeah. So this one I actually think is probably the most important aspect of kindness towards yourself. So, you know, because all of these little things, you know, you'll make plans to do it. You're gonna do it. You'll do it later. I want to get that done, and then you don't. So, and every day that passes is another day where you haven't actually shown up for yourself. So if you're knowing where you're wanting to go, you're knowing what you want to achieve in life, you're knowing what you're needing in your life, then really look at how you're showing up for yourself as that today. And if you're not doing that, then show up. because you're just as important as everyone else. Remember, this kindness is the triad. So to others, to friends and family, and to yourself. And then also my last one, which I've been talking to a lot of people about recently, is balancing all the things, not juggling, not cramming in, but actually balancing all the things. So how much time do you spend on work versus with your family versus with yourself versus doing the things that you love, and obviously doing the things, you know, the life admin things that we need to do. So we, you know, everything is all about balance. If we think about that, I mean, we look at that in kinesiology and Chinese medicine, and in Western medicine they call this homeostasis. It's balance. So it's about finding this delicate dance of balance within your life with all of the things that work for you. So it doesn't have to be the same for all of us. So they are the things that I think are about the kindness to self. Now, the benefits. Now, I've already talked about these happy hormones. So we definitely want these happy hormones being released. And in conjunction with that, what kindness also does, and these are all things that have been scientifically proven, reduces stress and anxiety. Kindness improves your immune system and your heart and mental health. There are studies that actually show how it improves your heart health, and that's actually in part due to the oxytocin. It improves your relationships, which really that's a no-brainer. We know that being nice to people makes them feel good. It prevents illness, again, by the inflammatory pathways. When we know that kindness actually reduces inflammation markers in the body, that's actually how it helps to prevent illness. And conveniently, kindness is, like a lot of things, is actually contagious. So we know that if you're nice to someone, they're probably going to be nice to you. And also they can pay it forward as well. So when we look at the benefits of kindness, we've got that on a very physical, biological level. We've got it on a mental level, and we've even got it, I guess, on that spiritual level as well. So if you're not sure about why you'd want to be being kind to people, here's a list. Okay. Now, being kind to unkind people. This is a challenge, yeah? So, and I actually have a feeling this is going to come up in Anastasia's loving kindness meditation. So, yeah, this is a challenge. It's not so easy to be kind to people who are being unkind to you. Oh, actually, I missed that on my previous slide. Being kind slows aging. So anyone not up for that? So now, being unkind to unkind people, why would you do that? For exactly the same reasons, because it releases these hormones, it reduces stress and anxiety, it improves your immune system and your heart health, your mental health, your relationships. Even when trying to be kind to people that are unkind to you, it's a little harder for them to be unkind to you if you're being kind to them. Preventing the illness, again, because of those inflammatory markers, it's contagious. So there is a chance that being kind to someone who is being unkind to you will actually help them to be kind to you. And again, slowing aging, I kind of like that one. Now, I seem to have lost a piece off my slide there. So, but the other thing that comes with being kind to unkind people is that's actually an accomplishment. It's very easy to be kind to someone when they're being unkind to you. And then actually look at that within yourself. So if you're being unkind to yourself, then you're actually blocking your happy hormones. You're increasing your stress and anxiety. You're damaging your immune system, potentially your heart health, your mental health. You're damaging your relationship with yourself. You're probably contributing to illness. And sorry, but it's contagious. And you're increasing your aging. So, you know, that's where the kindness to yourself as well as to other people is just as important. So, but that sense of accomplishment when you can actually feel okay with how you have chosen to behave versus other people, that's an achievement, and give it a go. Okay, so to recap, we are looking at the triad of kindness, being kind to others and how we can do that, you know, paying it forward, volunteering, letting people in, those sorts of things, being kind to your family, using your manners, both, well, everywhere really. And then the kindness to yourself as well. So, and then we've looked at the benefits of, you know, what kindness is, and then obviously that little extra challenge of being kind to unkind people. So these are all practical ways to show up as kind in your life, for you and for others. So I challenge you to go and do that today. Okay, so thank you very much. And if you would like to contact me, I'm on all the socials as Kinesiologist, and this is my QR code, which will also give you my details. So I will thank you for that and stop sharing.
Thank you, Alice. That was amazing. It's like you've been lecturing about kindness your whole life. Beautiful. And you know, it emanates from you too, so it's congruent. Really congruent. I think it's so important, especially in light of the tagline of Soul Advisor, which is nourish yourself, heal our world, to really remember that kindness to self, because if you're not being kind to yourself, you don't have what it takes to pay it forward, you know, or you're operating on an empty battery and making it empty further. So yeah, it's a lesson that is perhaps super important for our therapist and practitioner community to hear, I think, because we tend to be over givers. Yeah.
That's where that balance comes in.
Yes, balance. And I love the way you explain that thing of balance, that delicate dance. You know, it's never black and white and up and down. It's constantly reassessing. So thank you. Really important aspect of wellness, being well in this planet. So I'd like to hand it now over to Megan, if we may, to talk to us a little bit about the physiology of kindness. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to cover some of what Alice said a little bit, but with a different spin. So we'll just share. Yeah. Okay, you can see that?
Can.
Yep, great. Okay, so I'm Megan. Nice to meet you all. I am a neuroenergetic kinesiologist, so I like all things brain. I work extensively in the brain in the work I do, so I'm going to sort of take us just as simply as I can into the brain around kindness. So I'm going to start similarly to Alice, so sorry if it's a bit repetitive. We all know what it feels like to experience kindness. The triad or triad, now you've got me saying that, Alice, is very important, but when letting people in front of you in the car, like when you're driving along, instead of trying to sneak in front, and picking up the phone and having a chat and giving someone a compliment, you know. A funny story, my grandma, I used to always sort of want to poo-hoo compliments, and my grandma used to always say, accept it with grace, accept it with kindness, and say thank you. And that's something I have tried to bring into my adulthood. It is hard sometimes though. But we also know what it's like to be critical of ourselves. And this is where I'm going to take us on our neurology journey, is humans are hardwired to give kindness. Humans are also hardwired for connections, to assist others. And in fact, there has been some research to suggest that when we give back to our community in some small way, the benefits are increased or elevated. And Alice touched on that too with the research she referenced. But we are also really hardwired to be critical to ourselves. And this is something that I'm really passionate about in clinic, is to try and bring people home to themselves, bring them back to looking at ourselves as our loved ones look at us. And that's often quite awkward or icky for some people to feel. So I like to say, if I spoke to you in the same manner you speak to you, would you be interested in a friendship with me? Or would I be your best friend? Probably not, is the answer. And actually, a lot of people really think about it. And I would like to invite you now to have a think about some of the dialogue that you've had with yourself today. Have you been hard on yourself? Have you taken a harsh tone? Did you admonish yourself about a mistake? So just take a little minute to think about how your dialogue has been today. So the interesting thing with that is our brain doesn't know the difference between thoughts and reality. If you say, I am enough, then every cell in your body believes that. It takes on that energy that I am enough. So it's really important that we're careful about how we talk to ourselves, because if we are hard tone, a hard critic to ourselves, every cell in our body feels that. And the neurons wire and fire to make it happen in a way. It sort of brings it to life. So let's use an example of you're at work and you've got a project that's coming up. You're working hard on it, but you're not sure it's good enough. And you haven't submitted it for review, and you're pretty sure your boss is probably going to have some critiques about it, and you're really worried about it. Now, remembering that your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a thought and reality, suddenly your belief in this project not being as good enough to the standard that your manager thinks is probably going to be emanating through that. So why is this an issue? It's because I use work as an example because we tend to spend more time at work than we do with our own loved ones. And our tribes have not changed that much from back in caveman day to now. We need to feel we belong in our tribe. It's our livelihood, it's how we make our money. And in today's, how we get food and shelter is by working, but back in cavemans, it's, you have your tribe around you for the hunt. It's no different. We have lots of stimuli and pressures on us that act in the same way as our tribe does back in caveman. They had the adrenaline pumping for when they're out on the hunt. We have adrenaline pumping when we're worried about our boss not liking our work. It's the same thing, and our body reacts the same way. So what does this look like for our neurology and our physiology, I guess? So the lion here represents our pressures, our perceived or real threats in our life. Now, we don't have a lion chasing us in our everyday life, but we respond in the same way. So if we have a boss who's critical, or even if they're not critical, but we think they are, our physiology acts in the same way. The limbic center of our brain is called there's a center of it called the amygdala, and that's in yellow in the middle there. And the amygdala takes in all the information from our five senses. And it's constantly scanning, and it happens at a rapid rate, whereby, do I need to have an emotional reaction to this? Do I need to run, or do I need to fight? And what that then does is, I'm going to stick with the example of this work project, right? So if we're thinking that this work project that we're working on is not good enough to our manager's standard, then we're going to, day after day, be having the amygdala stimulate the thalamus, which stimulates the heart, to then pump more blood around the body, provide oxygenated blood to our whole body, arms and legs mainly, so we can run, or we have to fight. And the resources for our digestive system, that'll get switched off, because we ain't got time for digestion when we're in this threat mode. And so that gets switched off, and we're ready. We're always ready to fight or to run. And what I would like to sort of say is, when this happens day after day after day after day, you haven't even submitted a draft yet, right? You haven't even asked for feedback, and feedback actually could provide, it could be good, first of all, but thinking of it instead of a negative, think of it as a way to improve, then you're changing the way you're thinking. Remember, thought and reality. So if we're thinking, oh no, doomsday, then every cell in our body is going to be having this expression, this stress response. But if we're thinking, oh, this is an opportunity for me to learn a different technique or improve on something so it's even better for our customer or for the business, even just the way I'm saying it is more positive, and it's more room for growth. So stress can be a good thing, actually. Stress gets us off the couch. Stress gets us moving. But it's when stress tips over the edge and becomes more of a persistent, consistent stressor. And that's where we want to try and limit that with our self-care and some of the things that Alice talked about. So symptoms are, our symptoms are an expression of our stress response. So a lot of people ignore physical pain. Oh, I picked up a heavy bag, or oh, my migraines get you into a dark room resting. And usually migraines is probably a tricky one because they're a bit more complex than just a headache. But basically headaches get you to stop and go to a dark room and rest, or sit down and take some time for yourself. But what we're not doing there is we're forced to listen to our body. But what I would like to invite you to do is ask, have you got shoulder pain? Have you got eczema? Eczema, for instance, is your skin erupting with anger, excuse me, or what's making your skin crawl? What's some other ones? Not sleeping, your mind whirring and whirring. You're thinking about your job. This project is keeping you up at night. And this is your stress response, or your fight, flight response. And you're sleeping with one eye open. You're not able to fully rest when your stresses are heightened. So does this sound like kindness to self when we're thinking in this way? It's not kind, is it? No. So what to do? It's not all doomsday. There is some real things that you can do. Obviously, kinesiologists, we're all kinesiologists here today, is a wonderful way to help you reduce your stress. But there's so many things that you can do for yourself. And the first thing is to not assume. You haven't even asked your boss for feedback yet. He might think what you've done is exceptional, but because you're hard on yourself, you don't know that because you haven't asked questions, you haven't stayed curious longer, and you're not really being kind to yourself. So asking questions is a good thing, and it is important to stay curious longer. The other little top tip I like to give around this is when we find or catch ourselves being critical to ourselves or being harsh, maybe we've said, oh, you silly idiot, why did you do, or whatever. Hang on a minute. Are you a silly idiot? No, you're not. So be real with yourself. Are you able to be real and step back from the situation and look at it from a third person? When you do that, you halve your stress because you're identifying, oh, I'm really worried. I'm not sleeping right now because I'm worried about what my boss is going to say. But I don't know what my boss is going to say. It could be good. So having a little chat with yourself is a way of staying curious longer and halving your stress because you're not coming at it from a negative perspective. You're coming at it from asking questions, being curious, and knowing that there could be some really positives that come out of it. So just check my notes here, sorry. So I've got some self-care tips, and emotional stress release points are very, very good. We can do it together. So I would like you to all join me with 2 fingers. The reason why we use 2 fingers is we need polarity. You can use 1 finger, but it's not ideal. If you can use 2 fingers and a thumb. Thumbs are a bit different to fingers, so you are able to just use your thumbs. So 2 fingers above your eyes. So your eyes aren't in the middle of your forehead or wide. So you just find your eyes above your forehead, in the middle of your forehead there, and thumbs on temples. This is a really simple way to emotionally stress reduce your stressor. It can help you stop from crying with laughter. It really works wonders with kids who are having an emotional moment. I use it on the tennis court when I've hit a bum move and I'm really upset with myself. The racket goes under my arm and I hold my ESR points as I head up to the baseline. So it has applications across lots of different areas, and it's a really wonderful way to reduce your stress. But it's not a 10-second move. You have to hold it for at least a minute. And if you can elevate it with some really slow, deep breaths, that will really help to make this stress reduction be a benefit to you. And my rule of thumb, you can do box breathing. There's so many different breathing techniques and your practitioner will have their own. But my rule of thumb is make your exhale longer than your inhale. That activates the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is very much about rest and digest and getting you into your stress reduction. So really deep, slow breaths while holding this is a really wonderful way. And you know, when you're at your desk, you have your elbows on the desk, and you're concentrating, you tend to naturally gravitate to these points. Or if you're having a thinking about something, you tend to go to these points naturally. So if you purposely do this, maybe you wake up with it, maybe you go to bed with it, maybe every time you're at a red light or every time you go to the toilet, you sit there and hold these. It helps with creating a habit for yourself and helping you diffuse stress before it gets trapped somewhere in your body, and helps to lower your heart rate and things. I have another takeaway, but I'll just quickly share this. I don't have a QR code. I'm not fancy pants like Alice. But here is my details. I will be on Soul Advisor very, very shortly. I'm going to be setting up very soon. But for now, you can just email me at megan@restoredbalance.com.au and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have them after this talk. So I'm going to stop share and I'm going to teach you. Oops. Did that stop share? Yeah. I'm going to teach you one more, and it's called the heart self points. These ones are really good for if you're feeling scattered in your day. Maybe you're confused, maybe you've been given directions, you went the wrong way, maybe you're just feeling a bit like not connected to self, not centered. It's a bit trickier. Again, 2 fingers for polarity in your sternal notch. I want you to put out your ring finger, and I can't look at the because it's backwards. Your ring finger and your little finger under one clavicle here, and then the thumb under the other. And then the other way to do it with the other hand, is roll. You've got your ribs coming up, just roll off your xiphoid process, thumb in the middle of your breastplate and your fingers on just nice gentle pressure. You don't have to push hard. And again, you can hold these points too to help bring you back centered if you're feeling particularly scattered. And again, it's not a 10-second move. Hold it there with some deep breaths and you will feel a lot better. And that's me. You're muted, Cate.
Sorry, everyone. I just love how simple those techniques are and how beautiful they feel. It's really incredibly easy, isn't it, to come back to oneself and one's sense of kindness to self and holding oneself, etc., just by the simple art of touch. It's not like you have to go anywhere, buy anything, do much. And now you're mute.
There's one thing I didn't say at the end. I was actually going to lead into Anastasia really nicely, was a lot of people think that self-care is a massage or sleeping in. Yes, that's self-care, but the number one self-care is just how you are with yourself, and just being kind and speaking to yourself is really good. Think of your symptoms, think about where your stress is coming up from, and just start with self-talk and self-kindness to self. So yeah, and sound healing is what Anastasia is going to help us with, and that is another lovely way. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful sharing. Simple and great little spots and thoughts. I've just noticed Mimi's joined us too. Hi Mimi, how are you?
Hi, sorry, I didn't have the link till really late and then I couldn't get anything to work.
Oh dear.
So I
Never
really
mind.
apologise for the tardiness.
That's okay. Would you still like to contribute what you've got to contribute, or would you just like to join us? So how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling okay. I can talk if there's still time.
Sure, absolutely. There is a bit of time if you'd like to. We've actually hit the 7:25 mark, but if the rest of you are fine to be here for a little longer, then let's keep going. Okay, so Mimi, it's over to you because we're finishing with a treat with Anastasia. She's going to do a sound healing. So maybe
Okay,
we'll
great.
talk. Yeah, so I know that you're coming
Okay.
along to talk with us about how fear gets in the way of kindness. Is that still true?
It is
Right.
still true. Fear does get in the way of kindness, and a lot of people have got anxiety and fear. And so I have found that in that aspect, that doing breathing with people is a really good way of getting them to ground their energy and to let themselves open their chest up and balance the yin and yang energy of their body. And then you can open up the heart chakra. And it's all about being kind to yourself and being able to love yourself and love others and show that to even strangers or people that you know or family. I think a lot of people fear what people think about what they're doing and what they're saying, and they have the monkey mind going on and on and on. So for me, I'd like to help you do the breathing and open up the heart chakra. And I'm sorry, Anastasia, mine includes using the gong and the heart chakra tone. Okay. So if we want to work with the breathing, then it's basically you let the energy go up the back of the spine and breathe in and hold, and then you release it down the front of the central vessel and out. And then you do the reverse. You go up the body and hold, and then down the back. And we do that 3 times. So let us start. So breathe in and hold and breathe out. Breathe up the center and hold and breathe down the back of the spine and out. Breathe up the center of the spine and hold, and then down the front, breathe out. Then breathing in through the front of the central vessel up the front of the body and hold. And breathe the energy out down the back of the spine. Then breathe in the back of and up the spine the last time. And breathe down the front of the body and out. And one more time, the reverse, in through the front of the body and hold. And then down the back of the spine and out. Now you should feel that your energy is a little bit more balanced. And now when we breathe in, we try to open the heart chakra up. And hopefully, I don't know if you're going to hear it. That's the third dimension. Now we go to the fourth dimension. We're expanding. And then we're going to the fifth dimension and expanding again. Wonderful. Namaste. Thank you, ladies. I hope that your heart chakra feels a little bit more open now.
Thank
And
you.
I hope you could hear the tuning forks a little bit.
A little bit, but especially that beautiful breathing, that's breathing up and down.
It does.
The conception governor
It
vessels.
does help.
Very special.
Thank you. And I hope that the vibration, even if you couldn't quite hear the sound, the vibration of the energy is still coming through for the opening of the heart chakra. And stepping it up means that we're opening it from the third to the fourth to the fifth dimension.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's all about
Thank
the
you
heart
for
chakra, isn't it? Operating from the heart, not overthinking things, coming back to the present moment, being here. Yeah, and kind cultures operate from here. So thank you.
That's true.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Cate. Thank you.
So shall we move to you, Anastasia? Anastasia is going to share with us a little moment in time, because you know so much of the heart chakra is about feeling, isn't it? And not words and not thinking, but really just being. So Anastasia is going to take us for a loving kindness meditation and a sound healing, which is a great treat at this time of the evening.
Hi, Cate. Thank you, Alice, Megan and Mimi. It's wonderful to share this kindness webinar with you tonight and to be part of both of Soul Advisor and Australian Kinesiology Association. So I don't have a whiz-bang presentation, so I will just share. Oh, what happened there?
That looks beautiful. We could use that one. Yeah.
Okay. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there are so many ways we can. Sorry. I've just got my notes. We can be kind to our we can be kind in our lives. We all have a natural potential for kindness and compassion. A universal kindness. A good place to start is being kind to ourselves, just like Alice and Megan have both mentioned before. Buddha said, unless we treat ourselves with love and compassion, we cannot reflect the same on others. So once we start experiencing self-love and self-compassion for ourselves, we can show the same to others too. One thing I love doing as an act of kindness for myself is meditating. So there are many benefits to meditation. It calms the mind, it lowers the heart rate, it brings inner peace. Meditation can also help to manage stress, reduce anxiety, and have a positive effect on your emotional health and to cultivate peace of mind. I run urban retreats once a month, and I have a colleague that introduced me to this loving kindness meditation. And the way she did that was, I was just letting her know that I was having a difficult time with a colleague at work. And she said that she had something similar, and she practiced this loving kindness meditation on this colleague of hers. And after a while, so this colleague was quite abrupt with her and quite rude. After practicing this kindness meditation, she noticed that the colleague was actually being nicer and nicer to her. So it does work. So yeah, this loving kindness meditation that I'd like to share with you today that may help anyone listening. And during the sound healing that I'll actually do the meditation with, I highly recommend everyone has earphones on as well. So loving kindness is a centuries-old practice that originally comes from the Buddhist tradition. It involves repeating a set of phrases, sending out your wish that you and all beings be happy, peaceful, and healthy. And there are 4 parts. The first part is phrases sent to yourself. The second part is to people that you care and love. The third part is to neutral people. And the fourth part is people that may be negative towards you. So when you practice loving kindness meditation, we start to have self-compassion and a deep sense of emotional strength that can balance our thoughts and actions. A loving kindness meditation alone, or combined with other forms of therapy and treatment, such as kinesiology or sound healing, enhance brain activities related to emotional regulation, stress management, and immune functions. The benefits of a loving kindness meditation practice brings a host of emotional, social, neurological, and physical health benefits, such as increased positive emotions, increased empathy, and relaxation benefits. And with that, I'm actually going to ask everyone to get comfortable. And so I'll run the meditation for about 10-15 minutes. Is that okay, Cate?
Fantastic. Thank you.
And so, as I said before, I recommend you have earphones or a headset for better quality of the sound that will come through. So make yourselves comfortable, as relaxed as possible. And I invite you to actually close your eyes as well. And I'm just going to do the technical work to get my sound up. With the eyes gently closed, notice how you're feeling. Bless you. Focusing on the breath. Feel your body moving with your breath. Allowing your body to breathe itself at its natural pace. And taking another conscious breath in and out. Now bring your attention inwards. Picture yourself in your mind's eye. Become deeply aware of the person you are and saturate yourself with this awareness. Repeat the following phrases silently to yourself. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. Don't rush through the repetition. Speak them slowly and deliberately in your mind. Say it with feeling. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. If you notice other thoughts coming in, gently bring your attention back to the words and the phrases. Now imagine you are sitting with someone or something who embodies loving kindness to you. Someone that you share your life with and you love. It could be a family member, a friend, someone you're close to, or a pet. Picture them sitting in front of you Speak your chosen phrases to them as though they are there with you. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be well. Pause for a while to contemplate what the words truly mean to you. And when you've repeated these phrases a few times, let that person stand up and walk away. Now direct the same loving kindness to someone neutral. Could be a neighbour, or the person who makes your coffee at your local cafe, Alice. Someone who you'd like to send some loving kindness, and repeat these phrases. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be at peace. May you be happy. Take as much time as you need to repeat the word. May you be well. May you be at peace. May you be happy. And when you're finished, let that person stand up and walk away again, and come back to your breathing. Now in your mind's eye, picture a person you have some negative feelings about. Maybe someone you've had a disagreement with, or maybe a brief moment of disrespect. It could be your current partner or an ex-partner, a sibling or a colleague. This one can be the most challenging. Again, speak as though they are sitting in front of you and you are speaking directly to them. Repeating the phrases, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be well. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be well. And as that person stands up and walks away, come back to yourself. You can bring your hands to your heart and belly. This helps to connect back to yourself again. And finally, expanding your awareness as we send loving kindness to all beings. Imagine your family and all their friends and all their friends' families. Think about people you might meet one day and people you may never meet. As you repeat your phrases and sending them out to wherever life exists. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be well. May we all be happy. May we all be peaceful. May we all be well. When you've finished your phrases, take a few more minutes in meditation with eyes closed as you listen to the crystal singing bowls, focusing on your breath again and any sensations in your body. So I might leave it there, Cate, because we're run over. So as I end my talk today, I'd like to ask each and every one of you, what act of kindness can you perform for someone today, just like Alice asked? So thank you very much. Just turn round off.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. That's
Pleasure.
beautiful way to end up. It really is.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. And really, thank you all for being so very generous and sharing your intelligence more than anything, and your succinct way of putting it forward so that people can grab it and hold it. We've had some very erudite, deep discussions in our Illuminate series, and these were such practical ways to think about things and go forward and spread that kindness and emanate out there. So it's truly appreciated, and I'd love to wish you all and anybody who's listening in happy World Kindness Day on the 13th, which is only next week, and also send you that challenge to perpetrate, that's the wrong word, but 5 acts of kindness out there somewhere. Think about what you might do on that day, and let people know that it's World Kindness Day.
Thank you so much, Cate.
So thank you. That was really, really beautiful. Good evening to all, and much appreciation for joining us. Really lovely.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye all. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.